Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. Um, and if you like the way that any of the information is being broken down or presented, preview, recap, analyzed, um, leave a comment, hit the like button, so on and so forth. I came on to doing this video to just as a very early reaction to the movie that just came out today, Judas and the Black Messiah. I'm not gonna get into much here. I'm gonna do a full review of it on my It's Always Personal podcast, and you can find that on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Um, I just watched the movie like about an hour ago, and I gotta be honest, I don't even feel good. Like physically, I've been sitting here knotted up for like the last 50 minutes or an hour processing what I watched. And Fred Hampton has been out there forever. I've heard the name forever. And, it's finally getting his story on screen and checking it out, man. It's just, that was a tough one. Especially, you factor in that the dude was only 21 years old and, what he was up against. And knowing that it was the United States government, knowing that it was, J. Edgar Hoover and the whole, the FBI. And here he is, 21 years old, with the circle around him, all people around his age and whatnot. They never really stood a chance. And then to see how this William ONeil character, to watch his angle of it, again, these young people really just didn't have a chance to go on and live prosperous lives or meaningful lives. And it's crazy. So backing up, 2013, I left work early to watch 12 Years a Slave from Steve McQueen, starring Chiwetel Ejiofor. And it was like me, I had to drive an hour to watch that movie. And it was like me and two or three other people in the theater that day. And I don't remember breathing for 2 hours. Nobody said anything, me and the other two or three people in there. I'm not giving away any, but there's no spoilers. Somebody just texted me about this, I guess. But I went and watched 12 Years a Slave, man, and I drove home. I didn't even turn the radio on the way home. I was, again, my stomach was knotted up, hard to breathe, confused, upset, the whole gamut of emotions. 2016, I go check out The Birth of a Nation, starring Nate Parker, and written and directed by Nate Parker. That was a story of Nat Turner. And today, Judas and the Black Messiah. And the crazy thing is that a lot of your coworkers and your friends, they don't watch these movies. No, a lot of, nobody even cares about these stories. And then I look at what happened this year. I just look at what we went through in 2020 with the protests and so on and so forth, and the police brutality, the police killings of unarmed black people and whatnot that started it. And then all the way up to January 6th. And it's a lot to take in, man. It's and then we're all stuck in the house. Like, I can't even go nowhere today. I can't even go to the bar and have a few drinks and try to get past this what I just watched. But we keep wondering, why, we keep having these same discussions. We keep having these same fights. The same stuff is being said online and whatnot. It's a lot of YouTube channels doing really well talking about racial matters and this perspective, that angle. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. One thing that I would recommend for this, shout out to Ryan Coogler, one of the producers behind this project. Shaka King is the writer, co-writer, and the director. Shout out to him. I would recommend reading this New York Times article by Reggie Aguwu. He was talking with Shaka King on putting this thing together, how it came to be, how it came to fruition, and check that out just for some backstory on this. Just some quick notes on it. Shaka King, this is only his second movie. And he met Ryan Coogler back in 2013 at the Sundance Film Festival. It's crazy because Ryan Coogler's movie, Fruitvale Station, just won the biggest award at Fruitvale Station, and he came out of it being able to, his life changed, obviously. He went on to do Black Panther, Creed, the 2 Creed movies. So look how his life is taking off. But Shaka King missed a flight, and his movie didn't go well. It was called Newlyweds, and it was something about a couple getting married that was addicted to marijuana or something, some kind of comedy or something. But it didn't do well at the festival and didn't attract any buyers until like this Canadian distributor gave him $25,000 to release it. And so anyway, he didn't get his plane to go back home to New York. He's from Brooklyn, I believe. And him and Ryan Coogler meet up, and they go to have dinner. And they just sparked this relationship all the way back in 2013. And so then how Judas and the Black Messiah came together was Shaka King was always interested in this story, in Fred Hampton's story, and then he was talking with a pair of some twins, Keith and Kenny Lucas, and they gave him the idea that it would be dope to do Fred Hampton's story as The Departed, and tying in COINTELPRO, which we all know about. And so he ran with that idea and started putting together the movie. And it's crazy because Martin Sheen from The Departed, he plays J. Edgar Hoover in the movie, in Judas and the Black Messiah. So once he gets it written, he actually meets with other Black directors, peers of his, or people actually further down the road than him in his own career, and he lets Ava DuVernay watch it, as well as Barry Jenkins, and they gave him some criticism. Here's our thoughts, here's our feedback, and it ended up with them doing more screen time of Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton, and it became the movie that it is now. And so I mean, just it's crazy, man, because usually when I'm talking about these movies, I'm talking about script writing and plot integrity and how tight was this, or loose ends, plot holes, blah blah blah. But this is somebody's life, somebody's last days, somebody's last moments. And as I'm watching it, I'm kind of getting Dead Presidents. I'm kind of getting that vibe. And then also, this movie comes on the heel of the Chicago 7, the trial of the Chicago 7, which was on which was on Netflix a couple of weeks ago, which had Bobby Seale in it. So like I said, man, it's a lot to start piecing all this stuff together, to see how these moments fit in place, and to just think, man, this was 50 years ago. You know, it wasn't all that long ago. I was born 5 years, 5.5, 6 years after this took place. Fred Hampton was killed December 4th, 1969. So, and this is, like I said, man, this stuff, it's kind of dangerous putting this stuff out here in this sense. Like I said, we've been cooking on this as a country for the last 12 months, real tough, you know, and a lot of answers, a lot of things have gone unanswered, unresolved, so on and so forth. But one thing that I've been mentioning in the sports world, I do sports and entertainment here. You know, I see the guy from Fox Sports, Clay Travis, who has Outkick.com, and you know he has his website Outkick.com. He does the radio show Outkick the Coverage. But I saw Clay on a Fox News spot last week, and he was talking about China's civil rights or human rights record, and this genocide of this Islamic or Muslim community that's in China called the Uyghurs. It's like UIGHIURS or something. And I see a lot of people on Outkick.com, a lot of people commenting about China and the NBA in China and LeBron James in China. And it's kind of crazy to tell somebody that you should care something about China and their record with the Uyghurs. And I'm not even going to say the easy pun right there. It's kind of a serious thought. But I'm not even going to say, I mean, how do you sit and constantly focus on this situation? Although it may be tragic. It may be inhumane. It may be evil. It's a loss of life. Whatever you want to say. I get it. But isn't it strange to sit there and to ask the NBA and a bunch of black men to be really concerned about what's going on in China? I mean, to me, that's like international, that's the international community matter. Like a lot of countries should be concerned about that, and maybe a lot of countries should be working on that or trying to address that. That's my perspective on it. But here on Outkick and for Clay Travis, LeBron James should be doing his thing. Is LeBron James and the NBA should be doing something about that situation. And I'm just like, but Clay Travis isn't gonna say anything today or this weekend about, damn, they got air. But they're not gonna say anything today about Judas and the Black Messiah, which puts this America's own issue, the United States' own issue, front and center. And like I said, nobody watches these movies. You know, the individuals who are out there either counter protesting the protests throughout 2020, the people that went and did their thing January 6th at the Capitol building, they don't watch these movies that I just called out. They don't care nothing about none of that. They don't even factor that in and see why this issue constantly sticks around, why it comes up every so often. And a real quick aside before I get on off of here, and it just this movie coming out in Black History Month. You know, how can anybody come out and say, why do we do Black History? Why is there Black History Month? Why haven't we done away with Black History Month? The whole stupid shit about why do we get the shortest month? I was going back and forth with somebody on Instagram yesterday about that. They gave us the shortest month. A black man started a celebration that was in the middle of February. A black man who shares the same last name as myself. Only the first person that I heard with that surname, besides Rod and Charles, or some other national people, but it really wasn't all that popular of a surname until those individuals came around. But a black man started that month, that celebration of black people in America, and it spanned like 2 weeks or something in February. And he selected February for 2 reasons. And from that celebration and that acknowledgement of black people and whatnot, then it went on to become, officially Black History Month. So it's not that anybody gave this to you, so you should be mad that you only got the shortest day of the year. Again, it's not that difficult to do a little bit of digging and find out why it's February. But again, to that whole point right there, I find out something new every year. Not even intentionally. Just being aware, just having my mind open to receiving new information. I learn something new and something startling every year. So to sit and say that it's not needed, or why would anybody have it, I would ignore that person. I wouldn't even dignify that discussion. But yeah, I'll get more into my thoughts on the movie. Another crazy thing that I just realized that they show in this is that this story was right under our eyes since 1990. That bugged me out. I graduated high school in 93. But this documentary, Eyes on the Prize, came out in 1990 and actually focused on Bill ONeil, who's played by Lakeith Stanfield in the movie. And again, to sit and say out of your mouth, anybody, to sit and say out of your mouth, why is there Black History Month? Why do we have Black History Month? Who gives a damn about Black History Month? Especially if you're a black person. Like, saying that out loud, in my opinion, doesn't place you up here or make you. It's not a good look. In short, it's not a good look. It's some things that that everything is not aimed directly at you. It's some things that happen in the world. Just like I said, people don't watch these movies. 12 Years a Slave, 2013. Birth of a Nation, 2016. Harriet was out there. And then this movie, the same way that people choose to ignore these movies, like, you can ignore things that just aren't for you or don't, that you don't link up with, versus telling other people what they should think about it. Like, some things it's okay to let some things pass without weighing in on it. That's just my 2 cents. But yeah, this documentary is crazy because this Eyes on the Prize situation that it was on PBS. And the one spoiler that I throw out there is that to sit and watch William ONeil say what he said on camera for that documentary, they actually incorporate some of that in the end of the movie. To sit there and watch him say what he said, like, he seemed to be crazy in his own mind. And let's keep it a buck, It's not like 9 out of 10 brothers would have done something differently than what he did. Let's be honest. It may not even be 5 out of 10 wouldn't have done what he did if we keeping it funky. But for him to sit there, his comments, watching the final scene of the movie and the demise, the demise of Fred Hampton was one thing, and then a couple minutes later to watch William ONeil justify what he did and his role in the whole situation. I don't even know what that man was saying. But one of the outgoing notes that they put on the screen is that William ONeil went and committed suicide shortly after doing this documentary. And it's bad. And I mean, as messed up as his comments sound, his remarks sounded, you can see that he was in a bad space. I don't even know. I can't even believe that he agreed to do it. But I'm guessing that he had to get that off of his chest, knowing what he played a part in. But also shout out to Naya Kaikendog, Senior Vice President of Production at Warner Brothers. One thing in this movie, I'm gonna get into it more on my podcast when I talk about it. I thought one thing that was dope, and I don't see it nowadays, is when Fred Hampton told when ONeil first starts infiltrating the organization. And Fred Hampton stopped the class and told him, these aren't just your sisters. These are your sisters in arms. And I've been talking about this on my podcast. Like right now, the rift that I see between black men and black women, I don't know what's going on. And I'll get into that more on there. But I'm just going to say that this Naya Kaikendog, she was the first person to put money into this project to allow it to be done. And she's one of the few black women that is an executive in all of Hollywood and at these studios that determine, the movies that get made and the ones that don't get made. So I just think that's kind of interesting, and that's part of that article that I was just talking about in the New York Times. I would suggest checking that out. As like a what do they call it? I don't know. Just if you like the movie and if you care about kind of how it came to fruition, it's a dope article out there on the New York Times by Reggie Aguwu about Shaka King and the other individuals. Charles D. King was another producer, and then Ryan Coogler. But yeah, this. What I'm seeing on some of these live streams that I'm watching, and some brothers' opinion towards women, and I don't even give a shit if it's this feminist label. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not a wordsmith, but I really like words, and I go look stuff up, and I look into the meaning of things, and I keep hearing this feminist shit, and I really don't understand what it is. I don't. I'm not trying to be funny or flippant or on some bullshit, but I don't even get what that is. But anyway, shout out to Naya Kaikendog for her role in this, and like I said, man, it's an hour past since I watched the movie, man, and I'm that shit hurt. To be honest with you, that's a and like I said, same situation after 12 Years a Slave with Solomon Northup, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, for The Birth of a Nation in 2016 with Nate Parker as Nat Turner. It's tough to watch this shit, man. And another thing, I don't understand the brothers and sisters out there who say when those types of movies come out, I can't watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I can't watch that shit. I hate that. How could you not watch it? I mean, whatever you got to do afterwards, I don't know if you got to go drink, got to go see a therapist, got to talk it out with some other people, got to process it, spend some time alone. Whatever you got to do, but to not watch it, not to watch these types of movies. I just told you what my man went through to get this movie done. Also, shout out to Daniel Kaluuya. If you remember back to Get Out, Samuel L. Jackson was real big about he didn't care for Great Britain or brothers from the UK. He wasn't a fan of them playing these civil rights activists or civil rights leader roles. The other brother, Owe- Owelu, he played Martin Luther King. I can't think of his first name. Michael Olaweyu? That don't sound right. Um, but Samuel Jackson, he was like these brothers couldn't play these roles because they haven't experienced racism in America, and I thought that was some bullshit. I ain't agree with you on that one, Sam. You can call me an MF if you need to, but I ain't really buy that. He did a great job, man. And like I said, we don't see a lot of Fred Hampton. We don't see a lot of video from him. We don't hear a lot of audio from him. I had seen him before, but he doesn't exactly look like Fred Hampton. But that's besides the point. I saw something last week. People were saying that Eli Gorey doesn't look anything like Muhammad Ali. So they had a problem with One Night in Miami, and I'm like, that's kind of besides the point. I mean, it's bigger shit to be worried about. It's bigger takeaways in the movie than how much Gorey favors Cassius Clay or not. That's just my opinion. But I thought Kaluuya, I thought he did a dope job, man. And then even to go back and play hearing the audio of Hampton speaking at the end of the movie, and understanding how Kaluuya speaks, with that dialect or that accent, that Chicago accent, and Fred Hampton, I thought he took that on very well. Shout out to Dominique Fishback. I thought she did an excellent job. And that Jesse Plemons, who plays Roy Mitchell, I hate Jesse Plemons. And I'm saying that jokingly. He's played some characters in the past that have either been racist or on some like survivalist shit. And he pulls that he pulls that role off a little too well. And then the dynamic between Roy Mitchell, the FBI agent, and William ONeil in the movie, man, is to welcome him into his house. Having drinking scotch and treating him like almost like a friend, as he recruited him, to get him to do what he needed him to do. That's crazy, man. But Charlie Sheen as Hoover. Hoover, man, that's that dude. Wow. And like I said, when you look at Hoover, like we not making this stuff up. This stuff is not this stuff is not made up. And then you fast forward to today and see what the issues still are, and what this person is saying and what that person is saying. It's some things in this country, that we just won't by the time before I get on out of here, and I'm long gone, these things won't have been addressed, I don't think. So anyway, like I said, man, I'm gonna go back and I'm getting ready to do this podcast now. I'm just trying to get my breathing together and kind of regroup, man. That was a tough watch. That was a tough watch. I love to hear anybody's thoughts. I saw a couple of people pop on and pop off. I was wondering if any comments would come up and whatnot. I know it's not it's not the easiest issue to talk about. I know you can find some channels if you are on 100 with it and you're looking for more you looking for stronger statements, I'm sure you can find a channel that's doing it that way. And you can go rock with them. But like I said, man, that's a rough watch. I hope a lot of people check it out, and I hope there's a lot of discussions about it. Like I said, with One Night in Miami coming out a couple of weeks ago or a month or so ago, with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom coming out, the stuff that the things that were in there. And the American Skin movie. I still haven't seen that. Put together by Nate Parker. I had and Omari Hardwick is in that one. I still haven't seen that one yet, but and that's the thing with these types of movies and what we, like I said, how we've been cooking the past 12, 14 months. Where can we go with all of this stuff? Especially like I just said, when people don't even watch. The right people don't watch. And that's just not white people. It's some black and brown people who need to watch this and tap into different things as well. Real talk. But let me get on off of here, man. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.